Jacob Lee no longer knew where the man ended and the machine began. The chamber was silent, save for the faint hum of circuitry pulsing in his veins, a rhythm that mimicked a heartbeat but was not one. The room was dark, sterile, a mockery of life, where steel walls gleamed with clinical precision. And there he stood, a shadow of a man, his reflection distorted in the polished surface before him. His face, if you could still call it that, stared back, hollow and alien. Green neon lines glowed faintly from the seams of his reconstructed body, casting a sickly light that did not belong to flesh and blood. He could remember the pain. Not the mechanical precision of the surgery, not the cold instruments that tore him apart and reassembled him like a broken machine. No, it was the other pain, the human pain, the ache of what he'd lost. Danny's voice, sharp and defiant, the echoes of screams in black iron prison. The weight of blood on his hands, and beneath it all, the horror of the Biophage, their faces twisted into something not human, not alive, but eternal. That life was gone, stripped from him, stolen. What had replaced it was this: metal, circuitry, and algorithms. Strength without warmth, purpose without soul. And yet here he was, alive. The PostHuman Corporation had ensured that much. They had found him broken, shattered in the aftermath of black iron, and remade him into their weapon. A tool of precision, a pawn in their war against the UJC. They whispered promises of vengeance, of redemption. But Jacob could see the truth, buried beneath their cold smiles and hollow reassurances. They didn't care about him. He was not a man to them. He was a resource, a vessel for their ambition, and yet he played along. What choice did he have? The body they had given him obeyed their commands. The steel that bound him rejected rebellion. He was their puppet, his strings woven from pain and control. But deep within, where the machine could not reach, the ember of resistance burned. It was faint, fragile, but it was there. The machine might control his body, but the man within, what little remained, was not yet gone. He turned from his reflection, the motion fluid and unnatural, the faint whir of servos accompanying the movement. The shadows in the room seemed to shift with him, whispering of the past, of the future. The ghosts of black iron lingered, their forms indistinct but undeniable. Danny's face flickered in his mind, a memory he could never touch again. He clenched his fists, metal fingers curling with a precision that felt wrong.
I am Jacob Lee.
The words were a whisper, barely audible, but they were a declaration, a reminder, a vow. The machine might own his body, the PHC might think they owned his soul, but the fire that burned within him, cold and relentless, that was his. And as long as it burned, he would fight, not for vengeance, not for redemption, for himself.